hydrogen ions. Hydrogen ions, okay, within your body's fluid. So acid-base balance deals with hydrogen ion concentration and balancing things out, okay? We need to know what the difference between an acid and a base is. Okay, so the definition for an acid is any electrolyte that releases hydrogen ions. What was an electrolyte? What was it?
It breaks up into ions.
It breaks up into ions when placed in solution, right? So something that breaks up into ions when placed into solution and releases hydrogen ions specifically is considered an acid. Okay, a base is a substance that releases ions, which then will combine with hydrogen ions. Okay, interacts with hydrogen ions. So the importance of an acid-base balance is that any slight shifts in hydrogen ion concentration has significant effects. Okay, changes in hydrogen ion concentrations can change the rate of enzyme-controlled activities. What did an enzyme do for us? Catalyzes reactions, speeds up reactions, and then we learned when we did digestive system, right? Enzymes are dependent on, or are oftentimes their ability to work depends on the pH of the environment, right? So if there's any slight changes in hydrogen ion concentrations, it will change whether or not the environment is acidic or basic, and therefore changes the ability for that enzyme to function, okay? Any slight changes in hydrogen ion concentration also shifts the distribution of other ions, because hydrogen can combine with other ions, and therefore if they combine with those ions, the amount of those ions then go down, okay? Hydrogen ion concentration changes also modify hormone actions. So hormone actions are dependent on, oftentimes dependent on the pH of the environment, okay? So then what is pH? So acidity or base, concentration of hydrogen ions. So pH is a way of determining what the acid-base environment is like in a solution, right? So it's actually, there's a formula for this. pH is equal to the negative log of hydrogen ion. Okay. Negative log of concentration of hydrogen ions. Okay. So if the pH is low, you are acidic. If the pH is high, you are basic. What is a neutral pH? 7 is neutral. Okay. 7 is neutral. Anything above 7 is basic. Anything below 7 is acidic. The lower the number, the more acidic. The higher the number, the more basic. Okay. The normal body environment pH is somewhere between 7.35 to 7.45. That's the range of normal for the body, okay? So then if the concentration of hydrogen ions is important, we want to know what are the sources of these hydrogen ions? Where do we get these hydrogen ions from? So two main sources. One, metabolic processes give off hydrogen ions. Two, you absorb the hydrogen ions through your GI tract when you eat foods or drink liquids, right? So then what are those metabolic processes that contribute to the hydrogen ions within your body? There's 5 main ones that you guys need to know. Okay? So the first one, and all of these kind of go back to your metabolism lecture, okay? So aerobic respiration of glucose. Aerobic respiration of glucose. So when we broke down glucose, what are we breaking them down into? Carbon dioxide and water, right? So glycolysis, you're breaking down the glucose, which is a 6-carbon sugar. You break them down, and eventually all those carbons get distributed or released as carbon dioxide. And then after your cellular respiration, you end up with a lot of water, okay? The production of carbon dioxide and water, that carbon dioxide that's produced then diffuses out, and it can react with the water. When it reacts with the water, carbon dioxide plus water forms H2CO3, which is carbonic acid. Okay. The H2CO3 can then ionize and release, break down further and release hydrogen ions. So it breaks down into hydrogen ions and bicarb. So again, the big picture is when we break the metabolic reactions that form acid, the acid then ionizes to release hydrogens because that's the definition of an acid. Okay. So second metabolic process is anaerobic respiration of glucose. So remember, if we don't have oxygen, what do? We convert the pyruvate to lactic acid, right? So glycolysis forms pyruvate. In the absence of oxygen, that pyruvate gets converted to lactic acid. The lactate is an acid, and an acid will then release hydrogens. Okay, so that's another source of hydrogens within your body's fluids. Third process, incomplete oxidation of fatty acids. What was the definition for oxidation reaction? You donate an electron, right? Oxidation, you donate an electron. Reduction, you gain an electron. So incomplete oxidation of fatty acids. Fatty acids release electrons, and that forms ketone bodies. Ketone bodies are acidic, and acids again release hydrogen ions. So that increases the hydrogen ion concentrations within your body's fluids. Okay. Fourth metabolic process, oxidation of amino acids that contain sulfur. Again, amino acids releasing electrons will form H2SO4, which is sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid then ionizes and releases hydrogens into your body fluids, contributing to the extra concentration of hydrogen ions. And then finally, fifth metabolic process that you need to know, hydrolysis of phosphate proteins as well as nucleic acids. Keep in mind that proteins and nucleic acids all contain phosphorus within it. So when you oxidize these, you form H3PO4, which is phosphoric acid. The phosphoric acid again releases hydrogen ions into your body's fluids. Okay. Any questions?